Okay, we'll call the Pownal Select Board meeting to order on Thursday, January 8th at 7 p.m. for the agenda approval, warrants, mail, road foreman's monthly board meeting report. Under old business, I want to just talk about the transfer station just for a short bit to get some things scheduled. And then we'll adjourn and go into the road budget. What's your pleasure?
Make a move to accept the agenda.
Second.
Anything else to be added? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Warrants. Okay, payroll ending 12/24/14 in the amount of $7,854.11. Payroll ending 1/02/15 in the amount of $8,087.77. Payroll report ending 1/09/15 in the amount of $6,740.65. Accounts payable invoice 12/24/14 ending in the amount of $33,679.69. Had health insurance for $5 grand, and then we had a bunch of salt that added up to over $7. And our audit was for $2. Electricity was another $6. Those are the biggies. Accounts payable ending 1/02/15 in the amount of $11,021.51. The big one on this was for water technology, put some testing, over 6,500 about. Accounts payable ending 1/10/15 in the amount of $3,256.11. That's a little more standard. What's your pleasure, guys?
Motion to accept.
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
I
have-
abstain on warrant number 2.
Me too. That's the one I had to abstain on. Okay, mail. We have our weekly legislative report. We have BCL CT municipal policy priorities, what they're working on. We have a copy of the access permit for the South Shire Medical Center down on Route 7. I've heard the DRB has gone through the process, and they're in the final stage of it, having it be approved and sent off to be signed by the zoning administrator. This is just for their access and from the state side of it. It actually looks like it's going to be a pretty nice building. And we have our Division of Property Valuation Review certified equalized education property value sent to us. Equalized education property value was $245,304,000. Coefficient of disbursement was 15.19%. And let's see what else. And the common level of appraisal is 106.16. Anything over 100 is good, guys. So that's good. That's used when they set the taxes for the education. And as we know, the state has already said they're looking at hitting us with at least a couple of cents this year. So let's see where we go. This is the BCRC report to do with their meeting, Arlington Town Hall, and this is to do with, this is solid waste, requires Vermont municipalities, including solid waste districts. A lot of reading to do with the EPA tools and a bunch of the rest of the stuff that has Solid Waste Alliance, all that. They've got some forms in here that basically are samples of what you might want to think of using if we were doing this ourselves. But again, might be that, we're gonna talk about that a little later, I'll hold off on it. Vermont Land Trust brochure. Got a brochure from town meeting tune-ups, 2 classes they're giving. And we have our Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, Office of Energy Projects, Division of DM Safety Inspection. There's some things here we have to read upon, and there's actually a piece we have to sign off on once we look at this. And then there's a list of things to go with it that they talk about. And I think there's a page here. No. So we're looking at another one. But I have not read this from cover to cover, so I can't tell you. You guys have read it already. What's your pleasure with this? You want to table it until we get a good look at it, or go ahead and sign acknowledgement receipt of the annual letter? What's your pleasure?
I suggest we table it.
Second.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Want to leave a copy of that for me, Linda? And we'll look at it. Thanks. Pownal delinquent sewer tax report ending 1/1/2015. Total amount is $26,406.78. Okay, and that's with penalties and interest. Pownal tax delinquent tax report. The total amount for that is $409,281.28, and that's with the penalties and interest also. Okay, just starting the year. Okay, road foreman. Freezing cold in here.
Well, he was using salt and sand. He went through almost
That's
1,000
winter.
yards of sand already. And 200 and something, 220 I think, ton of salt. We purchased a lot of salt because there's 190 ton down the warehouse. So we probably purchased $36,000 worth of salt.
Equipment, holding up good?
Yeah.
Get the truck back,
Truck's back.
working,
Yep.
okay? Hasn't quit again on you?
No, it quit once and it's gonna have to go back down because there's ECM, ABS lights on. There's a couple other things with it. So,
Okay, so you're scheduling that to go back and,
yeah, probably we're gonna try to use it tomorrow so that because we're supposed to be getting some snow tomorrow, so we're gonna go out and use it. And they come over. They was over tonight and to run some of the codes. It only has 2 active codes in it, and they're both emissions related. So he's got it so that I can use it.
how was the switch over between frozen ground, mud, and then ice and snow? You guys have a
Well,
tough time with that?
It really wasn't as bad. I mean, it did go to, you take a spot, I'll give you, for instance, County Road where Mativi's is. I mean, you got that pond right above the intersection. And even though the culvert's in the ground 4 feet and it's all stone lined above that, it still saturated the road
I was
because of the
wondering.
pond being in there. So in areas like that where it was, there's
That
swamp
fellow
on
just
both
got
sides, or, we hauled 1 load of stone on Carpenter Hill
Okay, that wasn't bad.
and a load of gravel.
Because I was gonna say Carpenter Hill sometimes is our big
Yeah.
problem up there.
Yeah, but luckily we've been putting fabric down in the worst areas. Skippery Road was always a real bad spot, and that's pretty well dried up.
Good. Yeah, it just was strange this year. You get that real warm spell and everything just sort of blew out
Yeah, and well,
early.
frost got in the ground there for that couple weeks before Christmas, and when it thawed out, it did it in a bad way. But, yeah, it hasn't been too awful bad. Just used a lot of,
I haven't been getting any complaints. Anybody else been getting any calls on any of
a lot
the
of
stuff?
we used a lot of sand though, a lot of sand.
Now you had an icy situation there for a little while.
Yeah,
You have plenty of sand to get.
yeah, we got enough, and he's been getting in the bank down there on certain days. He, like today, he couldn't get a whole lot out of there, but he just continues to pick away at it because you kind of have to. Excuse me.
Well, sand, no matter if you bought it, it's cheaper than salt.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something maybe we need to think about.
I actually had been putting a little on the blacktop every once in a while, just to.
Yep. Yep.
But
Well,
it's only
what
certain
I'm
times.
just
You
saying is, that, if you got behind, I wouldn't be afraid to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to find some paint if it's available out there somewhere.
if there was a lot of snow and it was real cold, that's what we would use.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Henry. And I wouldn't just think of it being put on the blacktop, but if we get short on sand,
But
just buy it.
just buy it. I would get it. I'm telling you because
Yeah.
it's
Don't-
cheaper no matter how you look at it.
Well,
We
it's
got-
safer for our people if we.
We can get sand, and that's another thing we're going to talk about tonight is try to get into North Pownal there so we can get access into that, because and I haven't gone over there and looked, but there's got to be a place in there from what I saw on. We dug a ditch line right along the edge of Snake Hill Road, and there's a nice coarse vein of sand right along the edge of the road. That's why that whole bank caved in, and after we ditched it and
Goes all the
still
way
lined
across
it.
there.
Well, it heads that way, whether or not it gets over into where the town owns property in there, but it'd be worth a shot to find out.
Yep.
Just getting access up in there, and that property's for sale.
Yeah, I've got some plans in my pocket and stuff where Armstrong's had tried to do something when we were going to buy a piece up there. When we did the road, I actually have those drawings as well to talk to those people. And it is for sale. And there's a couple of pieces that are for sale over there actually.
I mean, going in off Woods Road would be a nice spot, but I don't think there's any
Without having to go across,
private property.
yeah.
Ron, do you know where they're talking about?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Harris and the other, yeah.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Harris is above there.
Well,
What's it?
But that's something we just need to look
Well,
into. This thing, and
you're saying it's for sale?
The piece that Armstrong used to own long ago, yes, that's for sale.
that's for sale.
Well, are we interested in it? I think we ought to figure
Find
that
out what it means.
Yeah, well, let's find, I think the first thing we want to do is figure out whether or not we're interested. Are we interested?
Well, I guess it depends on what's up there. I don't wanna buy,
Well, no, I meant to pursue it.
Well, we know there's gravel there because they ran gravel out of there for a while. And
No, I meant whether we want to pursue it or not. All I'm trying to get.
I mean, yeah, well, sure, why not? I
Isn't
don't
that
know.
the access to the 800 acres that's
I'm not somehow
That's
saying
there as
buy it.
well.
No.
even if it was just a right of way,
Yeah,
that would
that's
be.
one at a time, yeah, there's back when we were trying to get water off the property, we basically had an agreement with the Armstrongs, and we put a road through there, and for a right of way to this other piece of property, and we had the right to buy, was it 5 acres or more? I can't remember what it was up above, for $20,000, and we chose not to buy that afterwards, because the water that was coming out of there wasn't enough water. Ended up putting the well down lower, and but all that's been drawn up. It's been surveyed, the road's been surveyed, and the rest. So when I talk to this person, I might just talk about that right away that's drawn and surveyed, and the 5 acres. That way there you don't have to talk about all the property, but a small piece of it, which would get us to where we want to go to. I can show you what that is. at some
Well,
point.
I'm very interested.
And then at that point, versus buying, I don't know, it's like 60 acres there, we end up buying a lot less land and getting what we want.
We know that there's quality gravel.
I've never dug in there, so I don't know.
It's Jelly used to haul it out of there, and it was shut down because of the traffic back years and years ago due to zoning, the neighbors complained. But if you went up to the end of that, you'll see where there's a gravel bed where they dug out, and they were taking gravel out of there, basically the same type of gravel that Barlow was taking out. That's what it was. And but that's right at the end of this. And the sand is on the other side. If you go in on the other side and walk in and go up that walkway and go down over the bank and go to the left, you'll see where the sand and stuff that the tannery used, there's a big huge pit right there where they dug out, was taken out. And I'm sure there's trees in there probably now, 8 inches or more, because it hasn't been used in years. But you can't miss the fact that it was a pit.
I think it'd be interesting to visit it. And take a look.
Well, I think we need to contact landowners and find out what the situation is, and then we can take it from there. I mean, if we want to, if we can make some kind of an agreement for the purchase of that piece of property, I would probably then move forward and say, then if the landowners will go along with it, who knows? I mean,
Well, I know
but
they
then
want-
I think we can put some test pits in there, or
And I know that they want to sell it.
Sites
There's,
Is it the gray gravel?
I don't know, because on Barlow's side over there, I was told that there was a gray gravel and there was also a brown gravel.
yeah, he had clay too up in there.
He had clay. Yeah, so it's a mixture.
The
I
whole side
I
hill
think
was-
Ronnie knows some of the landowners up that way. I think he'd be a
Yeah.
key player.
Yeah.
He would agree,
Yep.
I really do. I think that,
I can,
let's not, I just don't think
I
we
tried
should
to
drag
be
our
a key
feet.
player before, and I said, let's buy that piece of property.
yeah, and they
The
wouldn't
board
buy it.
wouldn't go along with it.
Yeah, the board didn't buy it at that time.
But I said, let's buy it, put our road in, and sell what we don't want.
Yep.
We can sell as long as you can buy,
That's
both
right.
ways.
Yep, it works both ways.
That would be the smart
that's a
thing.
plan.
Then you got the roadway in and you're done.
Yeah, well, why don't I, is she living up there now, the woman that owns that?
She was there the last I knew. I talked with her there a couple months ago.
Did you? Okay, because I knew she was trying to get out of it.
Maybe.
I'll pick Ronnie up at some point.
Well, that's what I think.
When
that
he's
would-
free, I know he's running flat now, probably with all the cold weather.
I've heard some rumors about that piece of property.
I have too, and
Okay, and I think that it's, if it's something that you're bringing up, and if it's something that the town should investigate, I don't wanna wait until the next party owns it, or
That's
the
right.
next, and then, I mean, come on, if it's.
Yep,
uh,
Armstrong tried to sell it to us and they gave us a quote. I mean, and we couldn't get the board to move on it.
So we agreed to investigate it.
I think
Yep.
that would be
Okay.
great, perfect,
Let's do it.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to make contact and have Ronnie be with me, so it's just not
Okay,
one person.
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else?
Ready for budgeting.
Well, there's one more thing before we go to budgeting. I don't know if all the board got it, but there's a copy that, we've been asking Cam to send us something down on a way of, what his possibilities are. And,
She put it in here, okay, all right, go ahead.
so basically what I'd like to
Oh, yeah,
do
okay, yep, okay.
is have the board take a really good look at it. And Linda, if you could, I'd like you to have schedule Tam to come down, because we're gonna have to do the transfer station budget anyways. It'd be nice to have him here when we do that. If the board's in agreement.
Yep.
All right, so let's, if you could do that, talk to Tam and see if he can come, and then we'll schedule it and do the transfer station. Thanks, guys. Just take a good look at it. Okay. Anything else before the board, before we adjourn and go into budget?
I got an old business. Did we ever, do anything about the dog business?
I was just thinking of that this weekend, and I was gonna,
Okay, I know that nobody has called me and said there was a problem.
Yeah.
But
and nobody's
I
called
mean,
me.
somebody is going to, there's no doubt.
Yeah, well,
So what do we wanna do?
well, we probably should take that a step farther, Henry. as you know, we spoke to the parties that came that night.
Yes,
And they had offered to take animals into a shelter they had as long as they would be in charge of the animal control. They become an officer. So I guess the question I would ask is, I don't, that's the first time I met those people. Was that the first time you met them that night?
I've only know them people by, looking at them, or, I don't know them personally at all.
Yeah, because again, I think there's a case where we should go down
My
and
wife
invite
does
them.
know them.
Could she see them to, because what I like to do is have them come and introduce herself to the full board again with a letter asking us to do
Okay,
that.
with a letter of intent or what they would do
Proposal.
for us?
Yeah, a
or
proposal of
Sounds
what
good.
they would do for us and how they,
Ronnie, I think Ronnie knows, God, I think you've done work for him.
We also spoke with the owner of the new
I-
kennel down here.
Yeah.
I know who they are.
Okay, well, I know Cecily kinda knows them, so I.
yeah, well, if somebody can talk to them. And we did talk to Paul, what do they call that?
Pownal Pets.
Okay.
But they were supposed to come up with some information too.
Right.
Yeah, and I
At
haven't
the
heard
same-
anything.
At the same time, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
who can we get, you want to go follow up with them?
Certainly.
Okay, why don't you follow up with them?
Right, but I'll see what these.
And if you follow up with the others, because all we need to do is have someone come in front of us with a proposal,
Right.
because you're right. In this type of weather, we're gonna get calls because people have pets outdoors that they
Yeah,
shouldn't.
Something's gonna happen here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay,
Good point. I thought of it Sunday, then I forgot about it.
okay.
Got,
God, it's been more than a month, I bet you.
oh, it's been all of that plus.
It's been a long time.
I couldn't remember if we asked them to put something formal
We
together
didn't.
for us or not.
I don't think, no.
I don't think we did either. So,
I don't-
I know they asked and we said it was a good idea, but I don't think it went anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually, I recall that we said that, we were gonna wait, we wanted to be for sure that everyone
Oh,
had input.
right, so we
into
were
this.
waiting for the
We
other.
were waiting, am I right?
That's right, we were waiting for both
Both
parties to get,
parties,
and neither
or
one
all
of them,
three parties, actually.
and neither one of them got back to us.
Right?
Yeah. And our plate is full enough that we don't think about it.
I just have one question. Since we ran that ad for the transfer station, have we gotten any more applications?
Two.
Two more or two total?
We have 3 total.
Three total.
Okay, that's good.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Just sometime we should, maybe next week we can find out who they are.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're gonna move into a work session for road budget. Guys, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Did you bring your road budget with you, all set, ready for us? Come on up.